Hey everyone, you ever have a big idea and then when it's done, you look at it and say, "What what happened there? What is that?" Okay, well that was these. I was inspired by this junk mail. This is how it came, and I loved this. I thought that would make a great tag because, there's your topper. Love the shape. I and then instead of making this an easy template, just laying it down on my card and using that, I went about, I guess maybe in the back of my mind, I thought, not everybody's got that piece of junk mail. How do I get that round topper? Well, aren't these terrible? Look at them. But it's okay because I just kept messing and messing and came up with these. I don't know still if I'm in love with them, but you can see that's what they are. But they're big writing spots. Loved that. This one I'm still not in love with. I don't know what happened with him. What happened was, and the reason I wasn't up for morning coffee this morning, girls, was I fell asleep. Yesterday, well, the night before, my heat went out, and I think I was worried about that, which thank God it's been warm here, like low 60s, so it's not like freezing. We're not, you know, gonna freeze to death or nothing. But anyway, these go like this. So I was really tired, and when I was trying to create these last night, you know how it is when you're tired or your mind's somewhere else, you can't think or create. But I made these. I came in this morning, I just stopped, and I thought, well, I'll walk away from it a bit. Went in the living room. Next thing I know, Riley, and Navy, me and Navy's asleep. And I thought, well, for Pete's sake, I guess I just sat there and I was answering YouTube comments and just fell asleep. So I came back in here today, and today I had sense enough to say, take your card with you and make a template. But again, it's not like everybody's going to have this card or this junk mail. But I am going to make one just to see if what I'm thinking is right. I still love this idea. I like how it's shaped. And so it's this easy. I just traced it. You just saw me do it. This is the first one I've done with an actual template. Like I said last night, I don't know, I guess just not thinking right and tried to make one without a template. We're still going to make one, I think, without a template. But I love this. I love the shape of it. Of course, you could always cut a circle and put it on top. But now that I'm looking at this, doesn't seem very even. Yeah, it's not. This side is less than this side by a bit. Goodness sakes, Christy. Okay, so I need to cut that little smidge off and make it lined up. And I'm not going to even get out my cutter. I'm just going to cut it like this. Isn't this paper pretty? It's tea-dyed paper. That's better. And of course, I'm going to keep this to stamp a number. We might even put it back on the card itself. But then I couldn't take I don't like these pointies. So I rounded those. Kind of. It's not wanting to act right for me, is it? And rounded the bottom. Reminds me of a marquee. And then, like I say, I just kept fidgeting with them, and I ended up with these fabric cards that you could move the fabric out of the way, because when I was doing it, I thought, I don't want to cover up this beautiful tea dye. It's so pretty. I have trouble covering it up if there's not, like one side isn't accidentally printed on or whatever. So I just made this fabric piece that's on there with the brad where you can spin it out of the way, right on it. You could take this off, move it to a whole nother page in your journal, whatever. I just thought they were pretty. I thought they turned out pretty good. Again, that's a brad. Moves out of the way. I like that. So I thought we would finish. I have all these cut. What this ended up being, this size is, they're all 6 inches tall because it was a 12 by 12, so I just cut it in half. But this ended up being like 4 1/4. So I cut some of them 4 1/4, and then I had this piece left, so I thought I would make one out of these too. But I have this neat little tool. I don't know if you've ever seen these in school or whatever. Usually they're a circle, but for some reason mine's kind of oblong, and that's okay. We're going to make it work. But so how I figured out, finally, I got a clear head about me. This is 3 inches wide, okay? My circle piece here that I want to make at the top, I'm going to use this one, the top one. It is 2 inches wide. So that leaves me 1 inch. So then I know I need to leave a 1/2 inch on both sides. So line it back up here. I'm going to put this in the 1/2 inch on each side mark where my fat pieces, are at that 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to just draw like this. And then I can go across my deal here because it's straight now. And there's our top. What that is. Let's do one on this, on the 4 1/2. And I'm not a good explainer. So I thought if you don't, just humor me here. Okay, so we got 4 1/2. And my circle is 2 inches. So that leaves me 2 1/2. And you're going to divide that 2 1/2 in half because that's what you want to leave on each side. So 2 1/2 divided in half is 1 1/4, right? 1 1/4 on each side is what we need to leave. So this time, oh, I don't have 4 1/2. I have 4 1/4, it looks like. No, I have 4 1/2. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going to make this difficult enough. I'm just going to keep talking in circles. So I'm going to put this at 1 1/2. And it should be even on both sides. I need my fat part, my roundest part, to be at that 1/2. And I know I don't like to measure things. I don't like to make them complicated. But I really liked how this looked on my junk mail. And I still feel like I'm not doing something right because I don't know if that's going to be even. But here we go. And I just put it across and make a straight all the way across. And maybe you can see I'm lopsided. I'm not doing something right. 1 1/4, not 1 1/2, is where I need my fat part. See, this is why I don't like to do things precise, because I am not precise. I think what easiest thing I would do, if I was starting all over, I would just cut a circle, lay it in the middle, and then draw around it. You know what I mean? I think that would be the easiest, best way to do this, if you're interested in even doing it. But I've just got to know that I can make one of these right. So I'm going to try it one more time. I think I did it. I think it's in the center. Hot dog. Okay. So, I don't even know what this tutorial is because obviously I don't know what I'm doing. So I had to I had to show myself that I could cut this and it would look good or even. And then if you ever got one that looked good, like this one, you could just use it as a template for the rest. And I don't think that one's even. No, it's really not even. There's a little sprig needs to come off of it. So, you know, I'm showing you what I'm making, but I can't tell you, I can't even make it right for you. How about that? What kind of tutorial is that? That's better. If I had just used the template, but again, I guess I was thinking, you know, not everyone would have that piece of junk mail. So I hope that through watching that little mess, that it gave you an idea of how, if you're interested in a tag shaped like this, that you could cut it and it would make sense. Because that's what I did, and I don't know that it's good. I mean, I could have done it even on my envelope maker kind of thing. You know, it has the little punch and then whatnot, but here it is. So I thought we could decorate a couple of these since I just kept on making them. Look at all of them. But I do like them. I like the size of it. This one's so jagged. I don't know if I can... Boy, last night I just kept rounding and I ended up with just a little sliver on one of them. I don't even know what this tutorial is going to be called. Just a fabric. I don't know. That I need to quit messing with that. That's what I need to do. Or actually, let's do this. Let's figure this out. I'll cut around that. I want it to look better. And I did that too. I took a round thing. I used my button holder and I took a round thing and just drew it at the top. Which that worked out okay. But I was having trouble getting even. You know what I mean? Like getting my circle even with my tag. Alright, that's better. That looks better. So I don't know that it's even necessary, but did ink around them. And then I just made fabric kind of cluster, you know, a big to fit over this. Well, let's just make one. I know these aren't... I still don't know where I was going with all this ticket, other than it's just, to me, I like that round. I want it to really turn out, and that's not what I got, but that's okay. Maybe you all will share with me a good way to make that better. I've got this one, got this kind of tall one. Save the rest of those. And it's not that you even have to have this round, just, you know, a tab tag, I guess is what I have here. And I've got some of this, got this fabric piece, and look how shiny it is, but on the other side it's not as shiny, but it tears funny because of these little grids. And I think I want to use a piece of this. Well, look, I just told you it tears funny, and then I tried to tear it, and that's what happened. That's the funniest material. Well, let's make a wonky shape. How about it? We'll just do this one at half. I'm not going to tear it. I may fringe it, but I'm not going to tear it because I may end up with who knows what size. And I'm going to leave that funny piece there. Even though it sticks off, I like that. And I will rough up my edge. I don't know. I don't know what this stuff is, but we're going to... What was I doing here? Is that how I had it? Now it just looks funny. Okay, that's what I had. I'm going to leave all these strings. Had this. It's kind of pretty, isn't it? And then I had someone ask, how do you use metal pieces in your journaling? And this is how I would do it. I would put the brad through this for it to twist. And then you have a metal piece. And this one's pretty flat. It just has little humps on it. But I think that one would look neat. But back to this. I actually had pulled out this piece of paper last night because there was this picture underneath. And this was one of the beeswax pieces. And you can kind of see that picture underneath. And I liked that. So I thought I would do something like this. And then this would be your piece that you move. So let's just glue this really quick. And I do sew around this so I don't get real worried about, you know, my sewing or my gluing. I kind of just do it long enough for it to hold till I get to my machine. And I don't guess everything really has to be a tutorial. It's just about creating, right? Creating on camera. And the creating process gives other people ideas, I guess. Where I was hoping that would go. I'm going to rip that. Jagged that up a little bit. But anyway, thank God it's been really warm here for this time of year. So it was a perfect time if my heat was going to stop working that it would stop then. Because we made it just fine. It wasn't too cold. It really wasn't. I think the lowest point the house got down to was 65, which to me is cold. But I mean, some people keep their house that cool. I'll just use some glue stick for the fabric part. And then for the vellum piece, I am going to actually use art glitter glue to keep it down because when I sew, I'm going to sew around here. This bigger piece, not this piece. I think. Maybe I will sew around this little piece. That'd be okay, wouldn't it? Yeah. So, maybe I don't have to put... Maybe I'll just use this for it, too. So anyway, the heat guy couldn't come till today. And I could have called another one, but these people are so nice. And this boy, I say he's a boy. I don't know how old he is. He fixed my air conditioning. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. And it was one they had said, you know, it can't be fixed. You're going to have to get a new one. Well, I didn't have $8,000 to get a new one. And this guy, he made it work. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put a label on. Should I do that before I sew? No, I want to sew first, then we'll decorate it up. And I'm going to keep that metal piece. Probably end up losing it. You know, look at this nasty desk. Let's do one more. I don't want to use the same kind of fabric, though. But I do like the idea that the fabric doesn't have to cover the whole thing like I did on those other ones. But I think to make it move well, it would be good if your fabric was stiffer. I don't know, maybe it doesn't have to be. So I'm going to try this piece. It's kind of a thinner flannel kind of feeling. Let's see how this works out. Ooh, and I have some different textures here. Maybe we'll just layer. Ooh, gosh, this is looking better and better. Let's do something like this. I don't think I can tear. I can't. That's burlap. What are you thinking? Can't tear burlap. But we can sure shred it, can't we? We're just making, I guess we're just making interesting looking pieces that can be moved out of the way for our writing. Right? I like that. Okay, so we'll do that piece. I need a picture. Looking through my digitals that apparently one time I was able to print on vellum, because this is a vellum piece. And this one, I'm kind of wanting to look rustic, so I don't know. First, let me get my book page. I don't know that I want to go with that. I think those are mushrooms or flowers, or I don't know what those are. But I'm not even sure I want to use those. Let's get a piece of book page first. Well, let's just take one of these glue pages. They're thick, aren't they? I like that ruggedy edge, so we got a raggedy edge. We got to leave that. Then I'm going to glue this to that. And I need a picture, don't I? You ever do things like this where you print your digitals on sticker paper? I might try to use some of that. I know I'm getting sidetracked. But these are sticker paper. I could use that as my picture, couldn't I? Even though it's really not a picture. So I got a lot happening just straight up and down here. And I'm not loving that. So I need to do something off. There's a bird in that. I didn't see him till just now. But maybe it went with my decorating, that will make it not look so up and down. But for now, I think I'm just going to sew around this. And we'll come back. I'm going to sew around this other one. And we'll see what we got. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've done some just crazy sewing around, and you see I tore that little label. I couldn't take everything being all straight. So that is for that one. And I've also decided I think my metal piece goes better with this rustic one than this one. I may still put a metal piece on this one. I have different things I can use, but I wanted this because the coloring in that, you may not be able to see it, but there's a lot of just like a tan rust, a rust, you know, the rust like that's in that, and some patina. It's really pretty, and I think it's going to go well on this one. So let's finish up this little boy, and I'm going to use a piece of this sticker paper that I printed on. I just took a digital, the whole, and just printed, you know, like I would a normal piece of paper. But it's on these stickers now, so we can tear it off and use it in bits. But I'm thinking I want to do something like that and stamp a number on it, of course. But I'd like to stamp that number before I glue it down. I'm kind of wanting to use this. I found my ink pad finally. Kind of want to use this instead of black. I kind of want to use the vintage. Not sure it'll show up, but we're going to try. I don't even know how much of this is going to go on there or if it will even look right, but I'm going to try it. Never hurts to try, does it? That looks pretty good. I think I'm happy with that. So I will glue it just right along that bottom. And I don't know that I'm going to do too much more with this sheet. I think the metal piece and the fabrics, I think we have a lot to offer on this little tag. Just as it is. What do you think? I like that. Okay, so now I'm going to get me a brad. And what I did before was I actually did put an eyelet through this fabric part. I don't really know that that's necessary. I did it because I wanted it to be sturdier, you know, like if I wanted to take it off. So I may just go ahead and do that. I hate to do it on this one because I don't have a rusted eyelet that I know of. Maybe I do. I have this little orange one that it looks like I tried to rust at one time. So I'm just going to put it in there. It kind of goes with everything. Here we go. Here's one of the little Timmy brads. They look skinny. Maybe they'll go in there. Yes, perfect. And we just have, we can move that out of the way. What do you think? Is that kind of a neat tag? Or do you think you just piled a bunch of stuff on there and I like it? I do. I'm really happy with that. Okay. Let me get my brads all picked up. Now here's our other one. And we probably need a little label here too, don't we? You know, I'm feeling partial to this sticker paper. I love the color of it. Maybe get a bigger piece. I just got a bigger piece and then made the edges a little jaggedy. I like that better. And I want to stamp something on it, don't I? Something like that. I say it's sticker paper. They're labels, like address labels. Got them at the secondhand store a long time ago. Something like that. And then what do I want to do here for my turn-in thing? Maybe one of these doilies, little doilies, something like that. Or do I want a square one? I have some square ones. They're just kind of interesting looking. Nope, I need round. And then I also have this box of brads that I got from a lady that was selling off her stash. And she had a little bit of everything. I like that one. What do you think? Let's do that. And then I think, again, I'm going to put a little eyelet here so that it does give it just a little bit more something. So do I like this one, or I like this Believe? That's kind of a neat one. It kind of goes with that yellow in there. Of course, that one kind of has a more vintagey feel. Ooh, and then I have these that are cloth. That might go good. Kind of like that one. We'll lay those two out there and see what we think. Put my eyelet in real quick. And I think the reason I thought I might need that eyelet is from turning it, maybe it would give that fabric and papers or whatever I put there more strength. So now I'm just going to poke a hole. I don't need this one. Come here. And now I just need to decide, do I like this one better? Well, you might, but it ain't going to go in there. The legs are too fat. What about this one? Need to be grunched up a little bit. What do you think about that? I kind of like it. Now that I can't use this one, I like it better. Let's see what this... I like it now that it's scrunched up. What do you think about that? Should I... No, I like that. I'm staying with that. As she just keeps looking through the box. Okay, so I am going to leave it just like this. And then you can always write underneath there. Okay, I love it. What do you guys think of these? Think these are neat? I hope using the metal piece, I cannot remember who asked me, but they said, could you give us ideas on how to use them in your journal? And honestly, I do it anywhere. I also like to use them on charms. That's a big deal with me. I love charms. So I hope that you like these. I know that my tag, where I was going with that, was kind of strange. I hope that it maybe inspired you to find a better way to make that tag. I don't know. And I'm not really sure why I was so adamant to make that round top, but I do like it. I like how these turned out. Not at all what I was going for, but maybe you can find some inspiration from it. I'm sorry I was late for coffee, girls, and thanks for watching. Well, I'm trying to get them all in screen. I had someone ask me, well, maybe if I do them like this. That's not going to work either. I'm having trouble getting them all in screen. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.